This is your morning brief for Tuesday, June 2nd. Antitrust is in the air. Report by Wall Street Journal suggests tech giants are in the crosshairs of the FTC. So we're talking about Google and Facebook took it the worst. The entire FANG stocks were under pressure. I think it makes some sense, but not entirely. And why I say that is antitrust usually has to do with it being bad for consumers. And actually, these companies have been pretty good for consumers. Amazon, for instance, has only lowered prices for goods, so that's good for consumers. But they are creating a monopoly, so maybe in the longer run, it could be a bigger issue. I could say the same for all of them. I think more the issue with these companies, in my opinion, is the privacy issues, and spying on you and stealing, just keeping your data and reselling it. I think that's a bigger issue than antitrust, in my opinion. But I could see it to a degree. I'm not convinced it's going to go too far with that because I think these companies have actually helped consumers. But that's just my opinion. Okay, Infineon and Cypress Semiconductor are getting together. Infineon is technically acquiring Cypress. Shares of Cypress are up about 23% yesterday, and this makes them the number one chip maker in autos and number 8 overall in the world, according to the press release. I find it almost hard to believe they're number 8 in the world, but Cypress is really known for sound, like chips to do with sound. So, anyways, we'll see. I don't know enough about this one to make too much more comments on it. Although I just think that sounds interesting that there's a merger in the space. So, I like the space. It's been terribly beaten up in the trade war, so that's definitely killing them right now. But long run, I still like this group. Gold stocks were moving higher yesterday. Also makes some sense. Just market turmoil. Flight to gold is kind of a normal thing. So we had Barrick was up 5.4%. B2 Gold was up 4.9%. Kirkland Lake was up 4.6%. It's just a few examples. There were more. And I think you should have some gold in your portfolio anyways. It is the number one hedge, in my opinion, and number one stock that's. I was going to say it's uncorrelated is the right word. It has a zero correlation, seemingly, with almost every other stock group. It's not negatively correlated. Some move completely opposite, and that makes sense. This is just kind of got its own mind. It does its own thing. And why I think it's such a good hedge in your portfolio, because it can go up when everything else is going up. It can go up when things are going down. It just can do its own thing. Now, there are some times when they go down, but it's really a difficult one to predict, I'd say, but not a bad one to have. Just seems to really help out your portfolio, especially in rough periods. So I would definitely own some gold, and those three are great examples. I don't own all three of those. Earnings report. We have Salesforce after the bell. I think this is a good one in terms of like a bellwether. We don't cover it. The return on capital is still pretty lousy, but the revenue growth is outstanding. So I think it's a good one. People definitely look at it to kind of gauge their other positions, and we will be doing the same. And actually, the shares have been great of this company, but it's just not in our wheelhouse because the return on capital and cash flow is just not there yet. But it is a revenue grower. Okay, in other news, the Blues win, tying up the Stanley Cup Finals 2-2. That's turning out to be quite a good series, actually. A little back and forth. I think it's been every other game, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I believe it's Bruins won. Bruins won the first. Blues won the second. Bruins won the third. Blues won the fourth. Just back and forth. So it makes it interesting. Okay, that's your morning brief for Tuesday, June 4th.